Look at these fake pictures.
Caribbean things, you know what I'm saying?
Caribbean girls, my name.
Bitches don't let trainees. And trainees don't let bitches either. The draw a line in the ocean over flying fish. But that's different. That's a different night. That's for a different.
Stop blurring skin tint. This is the perfect foundation for the no makeup days. It just evens out my skin tone and delivers a soft, blurring finish. Or if you're someone who wears like a tinted moisturizer, this one's for you. Eavesdrop blurring skin tint. This is the perfect foundation for the no makeup days. It just evens out my skin tone and delivers a soft, blurring finish. Or if you're someone who wears like a tinted moisturizer, this one's for you. We're fucked up most of the time. And it's not because we want to be that way. It's because we're dealt a hand, and guess what? We don't run from it. We deal with it.
That's why so many of y'all are single.
You want me to tell you what a woman's supposed to smell like? However the fuck they want to feel.
Yep, and that's why so many of y'all are single.
We're fucked up most of the time. And it's not because we want to be that way. It's because we're dealt a hand, and guess what? We don't run from it. We deal with it. And so you want me to tell you what a woman's supposed to smell like? However the fuck they want to feel.
Over the years, Rihanna has been in several rumored high-profile relationships, and it seems like just yesterday when she was dating Drake. But we need to move on from that because 2 years, she's been quietly dating entrepreneur Hassan Jameel. Despite all their romantic getaways, there are very few photos of them together. So why is Rihanna keeping her man away from the public? And who the heck is Hassan Jameel? First of all, you need to know that Jameel's family is rich. And I mean like rich. They are one of the wealthiest Arab families in the world, and they own Abdul Latif Jameel, the largest Toyota distributor in Saudi Arabia and other Middle Eastern countries. Hassan is the deputy president and vice chairman for the company in Saudi Arabia. Until 2019, the family also sponsored the Saudi Soccer League, which was named after them, the Jameel League. Hassan was previously married for 5 years to an art critic, Lena Lazar, but Both the two divorced in 2017. Before his romance with Rihanna, Jamil was linked to the supermodel Naomi Campbell. What is the secret to Riri's 2-year relationship? Do you think it's keeping it out of the spotlight? Maybe, or probably it's true that opposites attract, because insiders say that Rihanna and Hassan are both very different, but this is what works for them. They understand each other very well and their personalities fit together. The singer rarely publicly talks about her relationship with the businessman, but a few months ago, she admitted to the Interview magazine that she, of course, was in love. And during Ocean's 8 promo, Riri kinda confirmed she was in a relationship. When one of her co-stars asked if she was dating someone, she answered in her typical sassy Rihanna style, "Google it." In that same Ocean's 8 promo interview, Rihanna said that she wanted to be a mother more than anything in life. Honestly, I'm sure Riri would make an amazing mom, because have you not seen how great she is with her little niece? And when asked if she plans to marry Jamil, the singer replied that only God knew that. So I guess she's in no rush to start planning a wedding. After her interview with Vogue in 2018, it seems that Hassan inspired Rihanna to make time for romance and also for herself. In the interview, she admitted that she had trouble prioritizing herself over her business and music career, and she used to feel guilty about taking personal time. But she also admitted that she never met someone who was worth it before, and she's happy to take the time to dedicate herself to a relationship. It sounds pretty serious to me. What about you? Rihanna and her man may have different personalities, but they actually have many things in common. First of all, they really enjoy PDA. After all, this is how the world found out that Rihanna was seeing someone in June of 2017 when photos of her with the then mystery man making out in a pool were published. It seems that she really wanted to keep her man a secret because like 2 months later, she tried to hide her boyfriend from paparazzi under an umbrella. You couldn't make this stuff up for real. The couple also shares a mutual love for sport. Rihanna regularly attends Lakers basketball games, but it seems that thanks to her boyfriend, she turned her attention towards soccer and baseball. And sports is what allegedly caused an argument between the couple, or at least Rihanna said so. The couple was photographed during what looked like a heated conversation in Mexico last summer, and obviously her fans took it to Twitter to defend their queen. Later, the star responded to the drama by posting an image of the lioness roaring at a male lion on Instagram and captioning it, "When you think you know more about soccer, how well played." She basically made a meme of herself arguing with her boyfriend. And it looks like the couple got the approval from their loved ones because they both spend time with each other's families. Last month, Rihanna and Hassan were seen on a night out with her mother and brother. And a few months earlier, the couple were photographed cuddling and smiling during dinner with Jamil's family in Italy. But meeting families is a small detail because Rihanna even allegedly moved to London for her boyfriend. She said in an interview for New York Times that she moved to the UK to be closer to the team working on Fenty. But people speculated that the reason for her move was so she could be closer to Jamil, who lives in London. So what's the truth? Anyways, the most important thing is that Rihanna is living her best life with her man. And I hope that he treats her right because she deserves only the best. Do you think that Rihanna and Hassan Jamil will last? Do you agree that they are that power couple? Are you waiting for Rihanna's new music? Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay up to date.
January 17th, 2020, it was reported that Rihanna split from her billionaire Saudi boyfriend Hassan Jamil after nearly 3 years. During that time, these two kept their relationship private, but it seemed like it was destined to last. Here are some of the possible reasons why Rihanna and Hassan Jamil broke up. In June 2019, Rihanna chatted with Ocean's 8 co-star Sarah Paulson for Interview magazine and opened up for the first and only time about her relationship with Jamil. Without mentioning him by name, the Love on the Brain singer gave insight into where she was on the idea of love and potentially starting a family. When Paulson asked who she was dating at the time, Rihanna simply told Paulson to Google it. She admitted to being in love, and once the topic of marriage came up, she said, "Only God knows that, girl. We plan and God laughs, right?" When asked if she wanted children, Rihanna admitted, "More than anything in life." Maybe Jamil wasn't on board with that, or perhaps the longtime couple's breakup was due to a personality issue. A source cited by Us Weekly in September 2019 revealed, "Rihanna and Jamil are so different, but it works for them." Rihanna went on to tell Paulson about the specific changes in her life she'd made in the past few years, particularly taking time for herself. She She explained, "If you're not happy, you're not going to be happy even doing the things that you love doing. It feel like a chore. I never want work to feel like a chore. My career is my purpose, and it should never feel like anything other than a happy place. I got into a new relationship, and it matters to me. It was like, I need to make time for this." While her cosmetics brand, Fenty Beauty, has quickly become a formidable, game-changing force in the market, Rihanna hasn't released an album since 2016, and her fans have been growing impatient. Previously confirming a 2019 release date, the singer dropped hints about her new album to Vogue, saying that it's, quote, reggae-inspired or reggae-infused. But 2019 came and went with no new Rihanna album. Did Rihanna's relationship with Jamil start feeling like a chore? Or maybe he came between her and her music? Whenever Rihanna is single, Drake seems to appear. It's inevitable. Here's what Rihanna told Vogue about her complicated relationship with the Canadian rapper in 2018. "We don't have a friendship now, but we're not enemies either. It is what it is." Well, that didn't necessarily sound good. However, flash forward to October 2019 when Rihanna showed up at Drake's 33rd birthday party. A source claimed to E! News, Rihanna made an appearance and stayed for several hours. She was with two girlfriends and was escorted to Drake's table by security. Her and Drake were talking for a while and were smiling and laughing. It seemed like a very pleasant interaction, and they looked like they were having fun together as friends. According to the Shade Room, Drake reportedly pulled the most Drake move by having McDonald's delivered to the club for Rihanna. This party led many to believe there might have been a rekindling romance happening between the two. But not so fast. Another insider told Hollywood Life at the time, "Rihanna is in such a great place with Hassan right now, and she's at a point in her life where she doesn't want to hold on to any past grudges or negative feelings she may have had about any of her exes." Sorry, Drake. Although he shares a child and has sparked wedding rumors with Amika Harris, Rihanna's ex Chris Brown has reportedly struggled with the news that Rihanna is newly single. A source claimed to Hollywood Life, "It's bad timing, to say the least, because he's in such a good place with Amika. They're trying to see where things could go with them, and throwing Rihanna into the mix is going to end any chance of that working out. Rihanna is Chris's first love, and in a lot of ways, it would be a dream come true for him to get her back." You're probably thinking Brown shouldn't hold his breath, right? Well, the source agreed, saying that ship has sailed, and everyone is hoping Chris is smart enough to realize that. But it wasn't just her January 2020 breakup that allegedly made Brown think about Rihanna again. It may also be the time of year. The insider explained, "We are getting close to the Grammys, and that is when the incident between the two happened. So he always takes this time to reflect on himself and see how much he has changed." When the news of Rihanna's split from Jamil broke, Twitter had a field day, as usual. So if you're feeling sad about Riri's single status, here are some of the more hilarious takes on this celeb breakup. One user tweeted, "Rihanna, if you are reading this, I am free on Thursday night and would like to hang out. Please respond to this and hang out with me on Thursday night when I am free." Meanwhile, fans who'd patiently awaited the release of Rihanna's first album in years couldn't help but jokingly share their hopes that a breakup record was on the horizon. One fan wrote, "Rihanna's first single from her long-awaited album is Herself, I Stan." Another quipped, "Rihanna finally dropped that single y'all been waiting for." Meanwhile, one Twitter user jokingly gave credit to Rihanna's Billionaire X, saying, "Hassan Jamil is taking one for the entire team by breaking up with Rihanna so she can channel the heartbreak energy into an album. A man."
What? Don't even say that ever again.
Favorite celeb
Rocky and Rihanna were all smiles as they filmed together in New York City over the weekend. Now a source tells ET the two are madly in love.
I couldn't tell you how happy I am.
The couple were all loved up in the Bronx, enjoying a multi-day shoot for the 32-year-old rapper's new music video. On Saturday, the two were spotted walking down the street on set together. That's the 33-year-old singer rocking a yellow printed headscarf, corset top, brown pants, heels, and a heavy fleece-lined overcoat. And that's ASAP in head-to-toe black with a gold belt and trucker hat.
I love it.
The source added that the power couple packed on the PDA, hugging, holding hands, and snuggling up to one another. Quote, "Between takes, they were very lovey-dovey."
Want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world.
On Sunday, the couple continued the shoot on a fire escape. Rihanna in a pink neon fur coat and lime green heels, ASAP in a matching lime green fur hat with a tank top, jeans, and boots. And ET Source says fans are going to love this new music video and this song, adding it's going to be like getting a glimpse into their relationship. But this isn't the first time Rihanna has starred in one of ASAP's music videos. Back in 2013, she played his girlfriend in his Fashion Killa video.
She may never wear it, but she saved it so our babies will be flyer than their parents.
The couple has also collaborated on music in the past. ASAP was featured on the 2011 remix for her song Cockiness.
Tell Riri I go read it all you on the remix, had the recall it on the CD, DVD, and TV, MP3, me follow.
Of course, rumors of romance between the two first sparked last July when Riri featured Rocky in her Fenty Skin campaign.
To me, in the industry, he's one of the guys that like everybody loves his skin. I mean, I've always wanted to know like how the heck do you have better skin than like half these girls? I mean, like what do you do?
At the time, the Umbrella singer opened up to ET about why she chose him for her ads.
I wanted men to be represented because this skincare line is gender neutral. I needed that male representation in the campaign, and so Rocky and Nas X. We wanted that male representation so men knew that it was okay.
So it's no surprise the two want to work together now that they're in a relationship. ET Source says, quote, they are so madly in love. They barely leave each other's side. ASAP is so grateful for Rihanna. She's his biggest cheerleader and he doesn't take her for granted. Just last week, a source told ET that Rihanna accompanied him to the studio to support him as he recorded new material. And when ET recently spoke to the rapper about his documentary, Stockholm Syndrome, he opened up about having his superstar girlfriend's support.
It's amazing, and I'm honestly, truly blessed, for real, you know?
What is your skin type?
Handsome.
Well, it looks like Rihanna is finally ready to settle down. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky are rumored to be on a fast track to marriage, and the fans couldn't be more thrilled. Twitter is already going crazy over Rihanna's future wedding looks and calling it the wedding of the decade. So what kind of wedding will Rihanna have, and what did she say about ASAP being the one? We have all the tea, so stay with us till the end of this video and make sure you hit that subscribe button for more breaking celeb news. Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's relationship is heating up, and the fans are saying it's been a long time coming. The chemistry between these two was obvious from the start, so it's actually surprising it took them so long to take their friendship to the next level. The Barbadian pop star and the Harlem rapper also have a long relationship as music collaborators. ASAP was first featured on the remix of Rihanna's track Cockiness, Love It, all the way back in 2012, and shortly after the song was released, the pair performed it live at the MTV Video Music Awards. After this very flirtatious performance, rumors started circulating that Rihanna and ASAP were a hot new couple. Rihanna later returned the favor by appearing on ASAP's track Fashion Killa, and the fans once again started saying these two looked so good together. And although neither one of them confirmed or denied anything, Rihanna did add fuel to the dating rumors by inviting ASAP to be the opening act on her 2013 Diamonds World Tour. However, the romance rumors eventually died down, and ASAP started dating Victoria's Secret model Chanel Iman. The pair got engaged in 2014, but called it off after just 6 months amid reports that ASAP had cheated on Chanel with Rita Ora. In the meantime, Rihanna had distanced herself from ASAP, and to everyone's surprise, she rekindled her relationship with ex-boyfriend Chris Brown. In her 2013 interview with Rolling Stone, Rihanna opened up about giving Chris another chance after he violently attacked her in 2009 and said, "If it's a mistake, it's my mistake." Well, as many fans had predicted, the rekindled romance with Chris did prove to be a mistake very quickly, and the couple broke up again in May 2013. But ASAP was still out of the picture at this point, and Rihanna eventually moved on with Saudi billionaire Hassan Jameel. As for ASAP's dating life, he was linked to everyone from Love and Hip Hop star Tahiri Josie to Kendall Jenner. However, the rapper kept a low profile, and after calling off his engagement to Chanel Iman in 2014, he never actually claimed another girlfriend publicly. Until now. Rumors about Rihanna and Rocky were reignited in June 2018 when the pair was seen sitting together in the front row of a Louis Vuitton show during Paris Fashion Week. Reports soon started to emerge that Rihanna had secretly split from Hassan to be with ASAP. However, a month later, Rihanna and Hassan were spotted on holiday in Mexico, shutting down the breakup rumors. By mid-2019, Rihanna and Hassan were still going strong, and when Riri was asked in an interview with her Ocean's 8 co-star, Sarah Paulson, if she was in love, the singer replied, "Of course." Paulson then asked, "Are you going to get married?" To which Riri responded, "Only God knows that, girl. We plan and God laughs, right?" Since Rihanna's relationship with Hassan at that point was her longest and most stable public romance, the fans were convinced the couple could tie the knot. However, just a month later, news broke that Rihanna and Hassan had split after almost 3 years together. According to a People magazine source, the reason behind the breakup were Rihanna and Hassan's different lifestyles. They both apparently realized that they're not a good match and that it would be hard to maintain a relationship long term. Interestingly, just a month before Rihanna and Hassan's breakup was announced, Riri walked the red carpet with A$AP Rocky at the British Fashion Awards. It didn't take long before reports started to emerge that Rihanna was spending a lot of time with A$AP following her split from Hassan. In December, TMZ reported that Riri and Rocky were spotted hanging out backstage at the 2020 Yams Day charity concert in Brooklyn, where the A$AP mob was performing. Also that same month, Rihanna went to A$AP's show in Stockholm, Sweden. And then, the iconic GQ interview happened. In August 2020, Rihanna and Rocky interviewed each other for the magazine's 18 Questions segment, and the chemistry was just off the charts. By this point, the romance rumors had reached a boiling point, and finally, after months of speculation, People magazine confirmed in November 2020 that Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were officially a couple. An insider later revealed to Us Weekly that A$AP has been into Rihanna for years, and was always the instigator in their relationship. Rihanna, however, would always brush off his advances and keep him in the friend zone. But unlike Drake, A$AP eventually managed to escape the friend zone, and he wasted no time publicly claiming Rihanna. Just months after the romance was confirmed, A$AP told GQ that Rihanna is the love of his life. When asked what it's like to be in a relationship with Riri, the rapper replied, so much better when you got the one. She amounts to probably like a million of the other ones. I think when you know, she's the one. The Harlem-born rapper then admitted that he can't wait to be a dad, and also opened up about visiting Rihanna's family in Barbados over Christmas. A$AP, whose father emigrated from Barbados to the US, described the experiences as homecoming and said, "It was crazy. I always imagined what it would be like for my dad before he came to America, and I got to visit those places, and believe it or not, there was something nostalgic about it. It was foreign, but familiar." Commenting on Rihanna and A$AP's Barbados trip, a source close to the couple told Entertainment Tonight that A$AP meeting Rihanna's family was an obvious step in their relationship. They've known each other for so long as friends and in a work setting, which makes it so easy for them to get along, travel together, and be involved in each other's lives to the full extent, the source shared. They always have such a good time together and definitely seem in love. A separate insider told People that Rihanna and A$AP had been inseparable since they started dating, and said the relationship feels natural because they have so much in common. They both are very much about helping out in the communities where they grew up. A$AP is generous, and so is Rihanna. A$AP is known for being a great guy, and Rihanna seems very happy dating him. Also, after Rihanna and A$AP were spotted in June on a date right in New York City, the fans were quick to notice the singer had covered up the matching shark tattoo she got with Drake back in 2016. Between this, A$AP calling Rihanna the one, and their recent Meet the Family trip, it's pretty clear at this point that this relationship is getting very serious very fast. But is it serious enough for marriage? Well, it definitely looks like it, because according to the latest reports, Riri and Rocky have already started planning their future together as husband and wife. According to People, the relationship is going strong, and Rihanna and A$AP have no plans on slowing down. This romance evolved since they were friends first. They already knew and respected each other, and it has just grown from there, one insider said. They are crazy about each other, a second source said, insisting that the couple is in it for the long term. Us Weekly also recently reported that there's a lot of buzz in Rihanna and A$AP's circle about an engagement being in the works. One source close to ASAP said that, going by the hints Rocky's been dropping, it may well happen soon, but there's no pressure, and what matters most to both of them is to keep building on this truly beautiful thing they've got going. The insider also added that Rihanna and Rocky are very open with friends, and it's unlike any connection they've ever experienced with anyone else, and they see each other as life partners. They don't need a piece of paper to be happy, this source shared, but Riri's a real romantic, and her friends and family, her mom especially, would love to see her married. We're also now hearing that the wedding might happen as soon as next year, and the event is most likely to be held in Rihanna's native Barbados. Insiders are saying Rihanna and ASAP are on the fast track to marriage, with plans underway for an emotional ceremony in her home country of Barbados. Rihanna's younger brother, Rajad, welcomed his first child earlier this year, which reportedly made Rihanna anxious to have kids of her own. And as for Rocky, he's apparently totally devoted to Rihanna and already refers to her as his wife. It seems like going from just friends to dating has worked out great for Rihanna and ASAP, and the fans are convinced that if these two do decide to tie the knot, it's going to be a forever kind of thing. I love Rihanna and ASAP Rocky's relationship. They just look like they are meant to be together, one fan commented, while another one added, and can you imagine ASAP and Riri's child? That kid would be supernaturally beautiful. Our eyes would burn. So now we want to know what you think. Do you like Rihanna and ASAP as a couple, and can you picture them as husband and wife? Let us know what you think in the comment section down below.
Okay guys, well, I guess for those who didn't want to stick around for the intro, they're just going to miss out. But now that the audio background of this video has ran its course, I'm just going to go ahead and read out loud what I'm continuing to read from a online InStyle blog article that was written by this black female, one of these hopeless romantic types that expressed her disappointment about the last year's breakup between Rihanna and this Arab cat before I go into my commentary. I was hoping to finish reading these articles before the end of the audio strips had completed in the background, but sometimes it doesn't always go the way you planned it. So continuing to read, and I'm assuming some of y'all are reading along with me. The dumb ones always complain about how long my intros are, but if you don't appreciate how much research goes into these videos, then maybe you shouldn't be watching me in the first place. So continuing to read, this chick whose first name is Taylor that wrote this blog says when it was announced earlier this year that she had split from Jamil, it was not only the end of the power couple, but for me it symbolized something deeper. Their lives being too different to maintain a relationship was the reason given for the breakup, which is vague PR talk for it just didn't work out. And though it's unclear if her career played a part, I found myself in mourning anyway. Not for the relationship itself necessarily, because, well, there wasn't much to go off of, but more for what it represented. A wildly successful, fiercely independent black woman having it all and getting her happily ever after. That's not to say black women are incapable of fairy tale endings and fulfilling careers, quite the contrary. I know several personally, and from a celebrity standpoint, Beyonce and Michelle Obama are two who immediately come to mind. Yeah, you pick like a needle in a haystack. Just shut up and read the article. But there's a certain elusive quality about Rihanna that makes her stand out. She's talked openly about not looking for a man in the past, and one could argue she's at her best when she's single. Her confident, savage behavior has become part of her brand over the years as we've witnessed her evolve from a young Pon de Replay singer into a dynamic entrepreneur. And there's a certain kind of power and freedom, but also a certain kind of intimidation that comes when a woman knows her worth. Part of that involves a refusal to settle for anything less than what you deserve. Oh, these females keep lying to themselves. That's why they're single. It probably goes without saying that Rihanna will be okay. She has multi-million-dollar businesses, an unreleased album, the world is awaiting, and she's Rihanna. It's hard to imagine her not finding a romantic partner when and if she wants one. As I enter my 30s and step into my own significantly poorer power with a career I'm proud of, I'd like to think that same is true for myself. Like Rihanna's talked about recently, I'm also open to the idea of having and raising kids on my own if the right person doesn't come along. Societal expectations be damned. Months before her breakup with Jamil, Rihanna did an interview with Sarah Paulson that stuck with me more than a year later. Asking after her relationship, Paulson inquires whether she's in love, to which Rihanna responds, "Of course." Paulson then asks if she's going to get married. There's a silence on the other end. In hindsight, that hesitation might have been more revealing than anyone initially thought. Maybe not. But it's what she said next that I've clung to. Quote, "God only knows that girl. We plan and God laughs, right?" That was written by Taylor Bryant. Okay. You know, let me start this video off first by saying that I personally hate doing celebrity gossip type videos. It's just, to me, it's really immature for a grown ass person to be worrying about what some fucking industry thought, some person chosen by the powers that be, put on a fake pedestal, is doing with their lives, which are also often more messed up and fucked up than just normal, average, everyday, people who have regular 9-to-5s. But every now and again, I do find stories that are unfortunately related to these so-called celebrities, these so-called stars, that is hard to resist. As I told you guys before, I don't clout chase. Every video I make, whether it's pay-per-view, whether it's on fsavenger.com, whether it's on Brighteon, whether it's here on ScrewTube, every video that I make has a moral to the story. It has a purpose. It's something that interests me. And oftentimes when I'm speaking on a specific individual, I'm using that story to reiterate or back up or use as a point of reference something that I and many other black-pilled, Marlboro men-minded black men have been saying on social media for years. And, starting off, I'll go back to maybe 10 years ago, when I first started, kind of establishing myself down here in central Illinois. And I was working a specific job while I was in college. I believe my senior year in college. And I remember there was this Pookie. We didn't call them Pookies back then, but I'm calling them a Pookie now. There was this Pookie, it may have been a little bit more than 10 years ago, that I was working with on this particular job. And we got into a conversation. I could see that we were clearly from different sides of the train track. He was from down here, but he had relatives up in South Chicago. And, we just, started a conversation, which is common amongst coworkers that work closely together. We were assigned to a task, and we were just talking throughout our shift. And he brought up something that I didn't know about Ludacris, who I believe his birth name is Chris Bridges. Yeah, Chris Bridges. And he told me that Chris Bridges, aka Ludacris, was from Champaign, Illinois, where I attended college, and that where he got the name Ludacris from was when he was a little kid. He was physically smaller than most other kids his age, and as a result, he got bullied a lot. And they would call him. They gave him a nickname. They called him Little Chris, and he took that Little Chris nickname. And as he left Champaign, went briefly, lived and went to school in Chicago. Then he lived in Virginia, and then he wound up in Atlanta. He adopted the stage name Ludacris, which was derived from the nickname that people gave him, Little Chris. And this Pookie he went on to, tell me about, things he heard through, his older brothers and relatives that knew Little Chris and where he was from, and, how he used to always get his ass whooped. And some people had to take up for him, and how he was like nothing really special down here in Central Illinois. It wasn't until he went to Atlanta and came into his own as a rapper and later an entrepreneur, yada, yada, yada. But I remember hearing that story, and he even took me by the house and the neighborhood that Little Chris, aka Ludacris, Chris Bridges, was raised on when we got off work a couple of days later, because I was dropping him off. He didn't have a car, my coworker. And, I looked at it. I had been through that area before. I didn't know that Ludacris was born and raised there. But, what it represented for me was the humble beginnings that a lot of these celebrities have, that people often, forget that they have, that, clearly represent that at the end of the day, these so-called stars and celebrities are really no different than you and me. Okay? I mean, a lot of them come from the same loincloth. They go through the same shit. I mean, they got to put on, for these females, they got to put on the same fake up. The only difference between a lot of them and us is that somebody gave them a break. They, ran into the right person with the right connections. In some of their cases, they did some unorthodox things behind the scenes in order to get to the top, but that's a subject for another video. But just looking at the humble beginnings that Ludacris came from, it just reminded me of why it never ceases to amaze me how much these morons in popular culture worship these individuals as if they're like one of the 12 disciples of Christ, or like they're magic or something. And then one of them dies like Kobe Bryant in a helicopter crash, or Paul Walker in a car crash, and everybody's so shocked. I mean, it's upsetting to an extent to see somebody that, like you've seen in so many different movies or seen on the basketball court. But at the end of the day, it's not unlike anything that, happens every single day. Okay? There's really nothing different. And I said this all the way back when I attended a Hollywood Film Festival back in 2010 with my sister. She was being nominated for an award. We were at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel, since a certain motherfucker on here called himself releasing my information. It's not like people can't look up and verify this, but I'm not going to say her name. But we were at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel, the same one that Whitney Houston died in, and I was standing there near the red carpet waiting for all the celebrities to come in. Saw a few of them: Sylvester Stallone, Halle Berry, and Mila Kunis. And I was standing there with this white guy, and we were having a conversation. He was just a hotel guest at the Hilton. He was a businessman that ran several bars in Las Vegas, and he was there with his girlfriend. She was having some type of birthday party, but this extremely wealthy white dude and me, we just had a conversation, and he said something. We came to an agreement that there's nothing special, even though we were standing there looking. I was there for my sister. I wasn't there for anybody else but my sister. We agreed that these celebrities are really nothing special. They're nothing. And I said, and he agreed with me, that the only difference between them and us is the direction that the cameras are pointed. That's it. Without all the glitz and glamour, and the highlights and the media coverage and the paparazzi, these people would just be another face in the fucking crowd. Actually, when I've seen a lot of celebrities up close, like when I saw Sylvester Stallone at the same event, it didn't impress me. Most of them look more impressive on screen. And I bring this up because this same realization, this same reality for me, that these people often come from humble beginnings, like James Brown, for an example. I believe he grew up in rural Georgia. At one point, even before he went to prison, he was living in a small hut with his dad. His mama ran off and did prostitution. He was dirt poor, like a lot of black people in the South were back in those days. These people, not only do they come from humble beginnings, but when you look at their lives, including their sex lives and their dating lives, their dating profile, it's just as fucked up and filled with baggage and toxicity and epic failures as, the common man or woman, these days. So, the point that I'm getting at is, when you look at Rihanna, okay, first of all, starting off, we've all seen her when, before the glitz and the glamour, before the superstar status, before all the fake up, before, she released her Fenty brand and all of that bullshit. We saw Rihanna in pictures when, she was coming up in high school, in her native of Barbados, with the wild, uncombed hair and the freckles on her face. She was just, a young girl. Just a young girl. Okay? So it behooves me, and I think it behooves a lot of people who think like me, as to why a certain segment of our society would think that simply because Rihanna is, this big time celebrity that's worth a few $1 million now, that somehow she's going to have a different result in her dating and so-called love and sex life than the next, female that thinks and operates along the same lines as her. See, I'm glad that I ran across, y'all heard me, the last article that I scrolled through while the audio back was playing in the background was of this black female who writes blogs for different online magazine websites, including In Style. And she was talking about how she was so disappointed because, of Rihanna breaking up with this Arab dude. And I think a lot of us remember, I wasn't paying attention to it too hard because, again, I don't follow celebrities like that. The only time you will see me saying anything significantly about a celebrity is in a case where I can say, "Ha, I told you so." Okay, I could give two shits less about these motherfuckers because, again, I know they're no different than, especially with these female celebrities, they're no different than your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill thought bot. I mean, Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Rihanna, take your pick, okay? But I do recall, I don't know who it was, if it was Tommy Sotomayor or, no, it was David Carroll, sure was. I believe David Carroll, a couple of years ago, he made a video, and somebody else may have made a video about all these black females. It was David Carroll definitely made a video about all these thirsty black females who try to live their lives vicariously through these social media personalities and these black female celebrities that were, spouting off all this, hey girl, and and oh, she's moving up bullshit, leveling up bullshit, and Rihanna's divesting bullshit on social media. They were spouting all of this off. It went viral that she was in a relationship with this Arab dude, which was funny because she had been in relationships with several other guys of, different races and different lifestyles before, and there wasn't a big deal. But when Rihanna got in a relationship with this Saudi, what is he, a Saudi billionaire? Jamil, whatever the fuck his name is, Jamil Hassan, I think. Black women were blasting off, talking about, look at Rihanna, she's she got the bag and blah blah fucking blah blah blah, and they were trying to make it like, Rihanna, the same thing they did with Serena Williams and Eve. They were trying to make it seem like, this was something that was going to be permanent, and that, Rihanna proved that black girls can level up. Now, keep in mind now, and the black girl who wrote this blog about her disappointment when these fools broke up, she's a dark-skinned black female. And what you will notice, whether you watch that feminist program on YouTube, The Grapevine, or whether you look at the females who write these blogs, or a majority of the females that, talk about all this celebrity gossip crap on social media, like Paris Milan, what you notice is an overriding majority of these black females that are praising these celebrity couples are black women. And on any other given day, okay, they would be complaining about cultural appropriation and, light skin being preferred over dark skin, right? But whenever a Meghan Markle or a Rihanna, is able to marry some rich, wealthy white dude or Arab dude, they will take that half black female, that biracial female, a Meghan Markle or a Rihanna that they were hating on before, and they will conveniently place her into that little pocket of, oh, she's a black woman, and now she epitomizes how black women are winning. Even though 80% of them are single, even though Taraji P. Henson and now Simone Biles have indicated that black women have, there's a underlying problem. There's a massive epidemic of mental illness throughout the black diaspora, especially with, black women of all ages and backgrounds. Okay. They will try to make it seem like these celebrities marrying or getting in relationships with these dudes is somehow that symbolizes that black women are leveling up, and they're beyond the thug love and the struggle love and basically being in a relationship with a black dude, basically, right? And then these same females, okay, they will act so shocked and so stunned and so salty when these people break up, as if first of all, if we're being realistic here, as if any relationship nowadays is staying forever, till death do we part. That's a part of our culture that has shifted, that has changed significantly. I believe my parents are literally the last generation of individuals that are going to stay married or stay in a relationship together for 20, 30 years. Okay. The same generation that was the last generation to retire from working for the same company for 20 to 30 years is the same generation that stayed together for 20, 30 years. Our culture, our society, our environment has changed. Everything has changed about this culture. That just doesn't work anymore. Okay. And one of the reasons it doesn't work anymore is because people are not willing to compromise. They're not willing to understand that a relationship is not just about me. Okay. It's about a team. It's about a team. Okay. It's about, understanding that sometimes you have to give a part of yourself or you have to give up a part of yourself to help let your partner understand that you care about their feelings and their needs and wants as well. Everybody nowadays, especially in the age of social media, is all about me, me, me. Or like Crystal and Kerrison with that white dude, relationship that ain't gonna last probably 5 years, if that. Getting on screen talking about, oh, look at me and my new boo or my new bae. It's not about the person you're in a relationship with. It's about putting yourself on screen so everybody can see what you have or what you pretend to have. Okay? And so a lot of these relationships just aren't working out. Like, again, if you can point out one couple that has stayed together, well, I ain't gonna say one couple, but if you can point out a significant amount of couples that have stayed together longer than 10 years that were born after 1990, I would really like to see that. I would really like to see that. Because that type of thing, by and large, just simply doesn't exist anymore. Okay? That's for starters. For second, we look at Rihanna, okay? And I can't say it here because this is YouTube, but she is what I used to say. She's something related to Island and a garbage can. Again, you can't say it directly here on YouTube. I could, but I'm not going to risk saying it, okay? I mean, I'm not saying that because she's from Barbados. I'm saying that because, and I told people this, they were talking about, you had these Jamaican heifers on my and other people's videos talking about how, and you had some of these simps talking about how different Caribbean women were from black women over here. I say, no. Just because Shelly Ann Fraser Price and Elaine Thompson Hurrah know how to carry themselves as young black women don't mean that all Caribbean females know how to act like proper ladies. A lot of them Caribbean bimbos are just as bad as, these bimbos over here, as just as bad as them African bimbos. Black females are absorbing thought culture. Okay, they're absorbing that culture all around the world. Okay, and so I said it. You could get a good Caribbean black woman as a girlfriend or wife, but it really depends on the mentality of that Caribbean female, because a lot of them females, I've seen it myself on social media and I've seen it in real life. Okay, they're just as bad and as fucked up as these American bimbos over here. Okay, so I mean, going to the Caribbean trying to find a black or any type of female, I mean, that's not going to guarantee anything. Okay, if they still have that thoughtbot hood trash mentality, then it is what it is. And Rihanna has that mentality. Okay, you look, this is a female who returned to a relationship with a dude that whooped her ass and very publicly whooped her ass, as we all saw. Chris Brown. She returned to, get on her knees for him and spread her legs for him at least 2 times after, she went public of how he beat her up. Okay. I've heard rumors, I don't know how true they are, that she first attacked Chris Brown before that whole thing kicked off. I'm not interested in debating about that. If y'all have links proving that this is true, put them in the comment wall or email them to me. It wouldn't surprise me if this was true, but whatever. Okay, she's dated guys like Jay-Z, a former drug dealer. She's dated guys like Drake, a dude that is pretty much, I mean, he's a fucking copycat. Okay, she calls herself a thought. Okay, one of her businesses, I think she has a clothing line. She markets it on her Instagram by stating thought season is almost here. So she's calling herself a thought and saying that she makes products in her little business ventures for females who have the thought mentality. Then in another one of her videos, she admits to being mentally fucked up. What is it with these female celebrities like Beyonce and Rihanna admitting that they're fucked up? Didn't David Carroll say Beyonce made a song about being a train wreck or something like that? At least they know the truth. But again, she admits to being, she says, we're fucked up. We know who she's talking about. People get mad when we say it as, free thinking, Marlboro minded black men. But at the end of the day, they're saying it. They know these truths about themselves. They don't want you saying it as a man, okay? But they know they're toxic, okay? The very reason why that female was in a relationship with Chris Brown to get her ass whooped is the very reason why she went back to him to get her ass whooped again, okay? Is the very reason why she found herself in a relationship with the likes of Jay-Z and Drake. Is the very reason why she's marketing her products to thoughts, okay? Is the very reason why she admitted to being fucked up. Is the very reason why she has to wear all of this fake up to hide what she really looks like, okay? Is the very reason why the relationship between her and this Arab dude didn't work out, okay? I mean, this is no secret here. The one thing you have to understand about these Arab dudes, we see a lot of these black female celebrities, more and more of them running off, getting in relationships with these wealthy Arab guys, because they have a lot of money and they throw a lot of money around. You got to understand that, Arab men, especially Arab Muslim men, even those who are more moderate, they're not like radical fundamentalists, they're more open-minded, kind of, I guess you could say, liberal or moderate Arab Muslims. They like to, play in the white man's play place, so to speak. They kind of indulge themselves in westernized culture. These men are very, very patriarchal minded, okay? They come from a culture that is very male dominated, okay? A lot of them are very family oriented, okay? They come from a culture where men from top to bottom, what they say, their word is bond. Their word is final. Women do what they tell them to do. There is no argument, especially out in public, okay? You put that together, you put that together with, Rihanna's baggage from her previous relationships and her, thought, ratchet, hood, island, ghetto type mindset. There was no fucking way that was going to work out. Okay? There just wasn't. Okay? You're talking about two people who come from two completely different loincloths. Okay? You're not going to be, especially not no wealthy Arab. I mean, it would be bad enough if you're trying to hook up one of these hood or island rat-minded females with like the local Arab dude that runs the corner liquor store. Okay? You're talking about a wealthy Arab dude. Like, you ain't gonna be like just doing whatever the fuck you want to do and, on social media, showing your ass, shaking your ass, and, you're gonna be the mother of his kids, and you're gonna be getting in all types of drama and, making music videos half naked and twerking, and you ain't gonna do that shit with him. No, he gonna put his foot down. He gonna say, hey, look. I love you, baby. Okay? But you being my wife, there's certain things that I'm gonna require you to do, and there's certain things that I'm gonna require that you don't do. Okay? And that's just the way it's gonna be. Okay? Now I'd imagine the reason why they broke up was because that Arab dude, starting off, because they were together for 3 years. Okay, but then there was a lot of buzz about them getting married. Look, man, the Rihannas of the world are not marriage material. Okay, they call themselves wifey types when they're anything but. Okay, so as soon as those rumors of marriage started stirring up, I'm assuming that if they were legitimate rumors, the Jamil and Rihanna, they were starting to talk a little bit more serious about him possibly putting a ring on it. But I guarantee you, as long as he was dating her and just, doing the girlfriend boyfriend thing, that's one thing. Okay. But if they were considering crossing over into that realm of, okay, let's get married and have kids, I'm sure not only pressure from him, but there was probably pressure from his family, because they said that Rihanna, she met his family and spent time with them. These Muslim families are very, very conservative minded families, and even if he was more moderate, he probably had wealthy Arab men in his family that was probably pulling him off to the side, pulling him into the next room, saying, "Hey, man, okay, hey, look, it ain't like we Osama bin Laden or Al Qaeda over here, or the Taliban, but you know who you with, you know who this girl is. You ain't gonna be bringing shame to our family. So you better check this hoe. Like, it's all good, the boyfriend girlfriend thing. You're having your fun, you're young, but if you gonna marry her and you gonna have seed that's gonna be descended from our bloodline, if you don't want to get cut off, from this inheritance, buddy, you better you better put her in check, okay? She ain't got to necessarily wear a burqa, but a lot of that online social media thought bot shit gonna have to stop. I'd imagine to some extent there was a conversation that happened between Jamil and, one of the higher ups in his family at some point. And hence thus, he had to have a conversation with Rihanna at some point that, look, I love you. I think, we're ready to move to the next level, but baby, before we move to the next level, all this dating and shit, that's all well and good, but if we're going to take it to the next level, there's certain things, again, that I'm going to require you to do, and there's certain things that you're not going to be able to do. If you're going to be my wife and you're going to be the mother of my kids in my family, representing my family, okay? Because you're not only representing my family, you represent our culture. And she wasn't, as we clearly saw, she wasn't willing to do that. She wasn't willing to stop acting like a thought, because like my ex, all she ever known was being a thought, okay? She couldn't stop being what she was. Y'all remember not too long ago I made that video about that black girl leveling up character meme, where people were calling it out because, every year this cartoon character bimbo is, stepping from one year into the next, talking about she's leaving all the negativity behind, but you look at the end of that year and she's still stepping on a shit pile of negativity, trying to step into the next year. And then the next year, the same thing. Underneath her high heels on the previous year step is a pile of poop, and she's stepping out of that, off of that year onto a higher step of another year. And it becomes a vicious cycle. Why is that? Because the source of the poop, the source of the shit, the source of the stench, the source of the turds are coming from her own ass. Okay? You can't outrun yourself. You can bullshit the entire world, but you can't bullshit yourself. Okay? You can't trick the tricker. Okay? And a majority of what these females do is come out the house trying to trick the world from even the way they doll themselves up. They try to trick the world to appear as something that they're not. Okay? And so Rihanna, there's no way, no matter what she said, no matter how long they were together, when that Arab dude put his foot down and said, okay, look, you're going to have to stop dressing this way. You're going to have to stop talking this way. All this is thought season and, bad girl, Riri, all that shit is going to have to change. Okay? If you're going to be my wife, that's going to have to change. When he told her what she was going to have to stop doing and what she was going to have to start doing, even if, listen, she may have, at one point, she may have seriously considered, okay, well, I'm older, I'm 30, I'm in my early 30s, I do want to, I want to leave a lot of things in my past, and I want to evolve as a person. I want this man as my husband. You know, I want to at least try to abide by what my husband is requiring of me to do in order to be his wife. Even if she, and I don't even think it went that far, but even if she was sincere, she couldn't put out. She couldn't change because it's not in her to change, because she's been programmed her entire life to be a thought. Okay? And thoughts are not marriage material. Thoughts are not submissive to men. Okay? They don't believe that, a man should be the leader or the head of the house or the head of the community. They are delusional enough to believe that women can do everything on their own, including raise these neighborhood terrorists that people say are terrorizing Blackistan. And we see how they have failed with their sons and daughters to raise them by themselves, and they have failed miserably. Okay? So she can't be what she's not. Okay? And I know this is gonna hurt. But asking a Rihanna, not just Rihanna, because again, she represents an entire, like Nicki Minaj, like Sha'Carri Richardson, like any one of these industry thoughts, fucking Ciara, go down the list. Cardi B, go down the list. She represents a generation of females that have been taught to fail in the way they think and the way they carry themselves and the way they operate from the moment they were born. Rihanna couldn't be somebody's long-term wife any more than she could be an airline pilot. Okay? Asking Rihanna to set aside, that fat mindset, that whorish mindset, that bad attitude, that toxicity that so many of these females have that makes them unapproachable and undesirable. Asking her to put that aside, you may as well be taking her and putting her in the cockpit of a Boeing 767 and telling her fly this shit. Take off and land. Now, I wouldn't be in that motherfucker with her if I was you, but you standing outside the plane with the cockpit window rolled down and her sticking her head out saying, okay, Rihanna, I want you to go down the runway. I want you to lift off. I want you to fly the plane at 10,000 feet, low altitude, then turn around and come back to the airport and safely land. Well, I can't say that she would crash and die because, quite frankly, I don't think she could even get off the ground any more than she could get into a position, any more than my ex could get into a position to be worthy enough to have a man, a serious man now, actually put a ring on it and to stay married, understanding what marriage actually entails. Okay? So that's the reason why they broke up. But to say that you thought that, all these females bigging up that relationship, with the wealthy non-black dude talking about this is why black women are winning. Since when did this 80% of single females ever have a successful example, a consistent successful example of women who look like them from their generation that are marrying highly successful men that are putting up with these females for longer than a couple years to maybe 5 years before getting rid of them? Please point that out, because I don't see it. What, we want to say, okay, Olivia Pope, what's her name? Kerry Washington. She married that African dude, Nnamdi Asomugha. Okay, well, Kerry Washington, that's a little bit different because Kerry Washington is not a ratchet type like Rihanna. Okay, she played a side chick and a ghetto gagger, but in real life, even though she's a swirler, she's from that different class of black people that I talk about. Okay, even though we know that sometimes the upper echelon of the black class can be interchangeable and unrecognizable with the lower class, but that's a subject for another video. But I mean, you have Kerry Washington, Beyonce, and who? Okay? You can't live your life vicariously through celebrities when 80% of y'all, more than 3/4 of you, are single, either by choice or because nobody wants to marry you. Okay? That's not me saying that. That's the stats saying that. Okay? Even if Rihanna somehow managed to get this Arab dude, to be dumb enough to put a ring on it and stayed married for 15, 20, 25, 30 years, even if that were the case, that's not going to change a damn thing about what's happening on the ground with black females. I mean, when you listen to these black women that complain about not getting married or not finding love or long-term relationships, you see the reason why they're single as soon as they open their mouth. These females, they say they want to put everything, their career, their fun that they want to have, they want to put all of that first. Okay? They don't want to submit to a man. They're okay with being single mothers because they know that Uncle Sam will incentivize them and catch them when they fall and be a crutch, plus the child support that they can extract from the dude that impregnated them. Okay? They want to, think like a man, operate like a man, right? But they still want a man. They want to put on a skirt, heels, get their nails and hair did, and want some dude to come sweep them off of their fucking feet and treat them like, Cinderella and the pumpkin patch or some shit. But the reality is, it's not going to work like that. If you are not willing to play the traditional role of a woman, you are not going to have a traditional successful marriage. And that's if you can find a dude dumb enough in this day and age to be simp enough and Captain Save-A-Ho enough to put a ring on it in the first place. A lot of guys like me are just saying, man, fuck these hoes. Like me, I'm not even looking anymore. Y'all know I found alternatives to women. I'm in hashtag dog culture and I'm unapologetic about it. Okay? I'm now approaching $8,000 on my dog collection and I have no regrets about it whatsoever. I couldn't give a shit what any struggle dusty in Indianapolis or any fucking fool ass female, toxic ass female on one of these goddamn blogs or YouTube channels has to say about it. Okay? Because again, I asked y'all when I first started showing off my dog collection, I asked people back then and I ask right now, what am I missing? You tell me. Look, okay. Y'all want to put me on the couch? Okay. Put me on the couch. I'm sitting on the couch. Somebody explain to me, please. I need somebody to explain to me. Name one thing that I'm missing from leaving the dating scene and no longer pursuing women. Considering that I don't care to have children. Okay. Name one thing that I'm missing. I'll wait. Okay, this is going to be like Jeopardy. Dun, 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 dun. No, yeah. Name what Brian is missing for 500. Go. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 boom, boom. You couldn't name one fucking thing, could you? It's just like on that show where they asked them bimbos that was sitting around the round table. Other than sex and kids, what does a woman actually bring to the table? And made up looks. What does the modern day female? We're not talking about our mothers or grandmothers' generation. That's a little different. What does the modern day female? Most of these females don't even know how to cook and clean. what do they bring to the table in a relationship for a man, especially a so-called high value man, a man who has, resources? What does she bring to the table? Exactly nothing. Zero. Zilch. She's gonna bring this feminist attitude like Stephen Curry's wife. That this woman should be happy. She should be lacing Stephen Curry's shoes before he goes out on the basketball court to play ball. She should be grateful that not only does she have a husband, but that he's stuck with her and doesn't cheat on her. At least to my knowledge, he doesn't cheat on her. And he actually stuck with her because she's really a basic chick. And that's with makeup on. Okay? This dude could easily leave this female and have as much pussy as he wants. Okay? She should be honored that she has a man like Stephen Curry taking care of her, sticking by her side. Okay? Not divorcing her or leaving her for, some other badder looking bimbo. But what does Stephen Curry's wife say? She says that she's jealous of her husband and feels like she should be the desired one. She should be the star in the relationship. She's jealous of him because every time she goes out, women are looking at her man, but ain't no men looking at her. This is how these females think. Okay? So the ones that are lucky, they find simps, like Nnamdi Asomugha and Stephen Curry, to put a ring on, or LeBron James to put a ring on it and keep a ring on it and stay married to them and put up with their BS for 10, 20, 30 years. But a lot of guys, like Rihanna's ex, are just walking away from the situation. They don't give a fuck. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the headache with these modern day females. And so then the funniest part of this, because this is actually old news, her and this Arab dude broke up like over a year ago. So, people might be saying, well, why are you making a video about this now? That's not that's not why I made a video. I just need to set the ground for the brutal irony of this. The brutal irony of this is just like what I'm call the Cynthia G effect, right? Where Cynthia G is, talking about black men are 3 trash bag dusties, and, they're beta male coons, and they're breeders, and they're dominated by white men, and blah, 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 blah. Then that same Cynthia G goes out and gets impregnated by Robert Perkins, a dude with 4 baby mamas and 5 kids, and she becomes the 5th baby mama with his 6th kid, right? Who, after breaking up with her billionaire Arab boyfriend, and I think we all can agree that most females can't even dream of not marrying, so much as getting on their knees for, much less being in a long-term, or what people define as a long-term, because they were together for 3 years, relationship with a billionaire who is heir to a billionaire family. Okay? Rihanna goes from billionaire boyfriend all around the world. If she marries this guy, she could possibly become heir to his wealth and his family's wealth. She goes from that right back to where she started when she first came on the scene as one of these industry thoughts. She returns back to Pookie. I mean, man, you gotta love the irony in this, bruh. All these females, like this goofy ass one that wrote this InStyle article talking about, Rihanna was leveling up and she's why black women are winning. What they got to say now? You've heard crickets from the sisterhood of what Obsidian calls failure. You've heard crickets from these black females, these online bloggers. You haven't heard anything from them about her getting with this ASAP Rocky idiot who almost got himself imprisoned in what was that, Holland or somewhere in Deutschland, for getting into a fight with some little goofy ass Arab dudes. Now she's back with Pookie, and we ain't gotta pretend like ASAP Rocky is anything other than one of these Pookie and Ray Ray, Tekashi 6ix9ine, fucking Chief Keef likes, because that's what he is. Okay, he's a freaking thug that converted into a hip hop artist. You have so many of these dudes, they try to get out the game from selling dope and, getting locked up and having felonies on their record. They try to get out the thug and the street game by elevating their rap game and getting, cracking into the hip hop industry, which from what I understand is very hard to, crack into and get to the top of that industry, especially not without some behind the scenes, like little dark, dingy, secretive stuff going on behind the scenes. But Rihanna winds up with ASAP Rocky. She goes from billionaire business magnate to ASAP fucking Rocky. Which is not surprising, considering that she returned to Chris Brown after it became public what happened when he allegedly abused her. Okay? What Rihanna did was she returned to her roots. Like a lot of this generation of females, okay? Like the black meme character, the leveling up meme girl, okay? She returned to her roots, which was Pookie. And she returned there because Pookie is a reflection of Rihanna. Rocky is Rihanna. The only difference is they have different sexual organs. They're the same type of person. That's why no matter how far these females go, or most of them pretend to go, no matter how much they talk, they will always end up either single or back into some type of thug love situation. And for all of these idiots talking about, her and ASAP Rocky, they gonna get married. First of all, it wouldn't surprise me if this idiot was stupid enough to put a ring on Rihanna's finger. But to be honest with you, I seriously doubt she's going to have any more of a chance of getting married to ASAP Rocky than she did that Arab dude. Okay? First of all, you have to understand that marriage is a Eurocentric concept, a European concept, number one. Number two, females, people in general, myself included, marriage is not a goal anymore. People pretend that it's a goal, but it's really not. That's obvious, okay? But you can still be in a long-term relationship with somebody, married or not, and make it work for yourself and any children that you might have. But a lot of people aren't stable enough to even make that work out, okay? So the harsh reality is, okay, I'll give this relationship between her and Rocky 2 years, and I think that's on the long side. It'll only be a matter of time, just like that girl from former Destiny's Child, Kelly Rowland. Remember, she was dating all them white dudes. Remember, on the beach, seen by the paparazzi on the beach with all these mystery ass white dudes. And then who did she wind up marrying? Some black dude that was shorter than her. Some cue ball head black dude that was like a business magnate that was shorter than her. I guarantee you, Rihanna and Rocky are not gonna stay together. But the fact that she returned to Pookie, it just regurgitates a point that we've been trying to tell y'all for years. That these females, they talk about how we bash them, when the truth of the matter is they are the reason why the world sees them the way they do, and they are the reason why they can't level up, as they say, because they can't outrun themselves in who they really are. They are attracted to drama. They're attracted to toxicity because they're toxic. They're attracted to dysfunction, which is why this female literally went. I mean, dude, that's like going from that's like going from a Ferrari back to a Ford Pinto. I mean, how do you do that, bro? How do you do that? There's only one explanation. And now all these swirling, leveling up, divestment, that whole camp is silent about the very Rihanna whose ass they were kissing not 2 years ago. There's only one way to explain it. Because Rihanna is a Pookie herself. She is dysfunctional. After all, Miss Rihanna said herself, we're fucked up, meaning women are fucked up. She said that. I didn't say that. She said, why? Don't know. It just is what it is. So, I mean, how do you even begin to rebuttal that? How do you begin to debate me or anybody on this? They return to their roots, no matter how much they say niggas ain't shit. No matter how much they say and again, this even flows into why you see all these goofy ass females, on social media that are, talking about leveling up and divestment, and they're moving beyond black men and, niggas ain't shit and struggle love. Yet these very same females like Cynthia G wind up in relationships and in, sexuationships and situationships with the very same dudes that they complain about. They have these guys on their streams. You don't see these females, on streams with a bunch of white and Hispanic dudes that they claim, are checking for them. Because the truth of the matter is those dudes by and large aren't checking for them. Yeah, a dude want to get his nut off. We've been through all of that. We ain't got to go back over that. Okay. But the reality, the harsh reality is, okay, that these females, they hang around the very same black men. They continue to have sex with the very same black men. One thing that we even know is very popular in black society today are these new generation females still having sex with their ex. How are you still fucking a person that you're broke up from? They still want that dick from this very same dude that they call their ex and have the nerve to continue to call them their ex while they're sleeping with the kid. Make that make sense. As Rihanna said, I think it's safe to say it now because Rihanna said it. These women are fucked up. She said that. Beyonce said they were I'm a train wreck or something like that. She said I'm some type of wreck, right? A car wreck, train wreck, plane wreck, something. They're saying it. Everybody knows. You can't outrun yourself. And now what do they have to say? Say hi, say bye-bye to Waldo, and say hello again to Pookie. Rihanna is simply being with who she is. If opposites attract, then similars attract as well. Thank you so much for listening, guys. Make sure you check out our fsavenger.com platform. It's the only space owned and run and operated by black men for black men. If you would like to, feel free on the home page to click the donate button. If you have a problem finding the donate button, go ahead and shoot me an email at briansolange2@gmail.com, which should be in the description box, or I'm burping, or the pinned post with my other links. Shoot me an email and I'll send you the donation link to support black men's freedom of speech through our wonderful website, fsavenger.com. Also, if you would like to support the Brian Too Bad TV Salon show, please feel free to click on any one of the links down in the description box and the pinned post that show where else you can follow and subscribe to me on social media. as well as my crowdfunding links for my personal channel here, both on YouTube, fsavenger.com, brighteon.com, and beyond. So thank you so much for listening, guys. Thank you for supporting me for 7 years. We're going to keep going forward, and we're only getting stronger and bigger. And talk to you later, guys.